Gore slide, I guess. Sustainability must be economical. Architecture that is too sustainable is not economical, must be weighed against financial cost. Often when you're doing, whether it's a new building, you're working on an existing structure, there's always a higher, more Cadillac approach to something. You know, we could go with a higher efficiency system. We could go with a better insulation, something that is going to make the project a little more expensive for a little bit more sustainable gain. So often I hear the argument that, well, you know, don't go overboard with the sustainability thing because, you know, there's financial constraints. And stepping out of the moment of that discussion for a minute, we have to think, you know, is environmental destruction sustainable? Like, if ultimately we're saying there's a price tag on the planet, and if we go over it, we can't really proceed, there's a problem with that premise, a fundamental problem. And then this one comes up a lot, that the system is against us. Like, it's a good idea, but no one's ever done it, and you don't have the regs for it, and the chief building official won't let you do it, and the market won't buy it, and it's just sort of naysaying. That there's so many roadblocks in the way that it's not going to be possible. And when I first developed this talk, it was actually for the OAA, for architects, really trying to inspire them to say, but you're architects. Like, isn't your fundamental role actually to be innovative, to bring innovation to society, to bring the new experimental ways of solving problems into the social context. And so to me, we really need to do that. We need to have leadership in our new buildings, in our adaptive reuse of existing buildings. Every single one should try and be a precedent-setting, gold star attempt at the most sustainable building. This is one that is an equally hard argument at times, that, I mean, part and parcel with the greening of the construction industry is this marketing of low maintenance, zero maintenance, no maintenance. You won't have to paint it, you won't have to do this, you won't have to touch it. Because in keeping with higher labor costs, the cost of maintenance, and this myth that you can get away without maintenance, which most of the people in this room know that's not true if you've worked with any historic buildings, or with some new ones, you can just defer it. You can defer it to some point until a system fails. And I think that it's important to remember that historic buildings were always designed with a maintenance regime. There was a regular regime. There were things you did periodically, systems that were renewed periodically, inspections you undertook, work that was done. It was a living cycle of a process. You didn't build a structure, walk away and forget it. It was a very human activity working with buildings. And labor is the ultimate renewable resource. If you think about that, the resources themselves, the bricks and the mortar and the wood and those things, you have to acquire them, you have to go get them. But what is the thing that we can bring to the construction site every day, to the heritage site every day? Renewable labor.